me tell you about the facts of life. Sing it with me.
Take the good, take the bad, you take them both. There you have the facts of life. The facts of life. Take the good, take the bad.
You have the courage to tell your truth about the fear of rejection. And this has been on my mind for some time because I've been having dreams. I've had a couple of dreams about getting fired from my job. So I looked up what the dreams meant, and I found out that I found out that the dreams mean I'm having fears of being, you're having fears of being rejected. And I'm at the place in my life where I am currently like going through a transition period with trying to find new employment and also like dating too, like transition period with finding like new employment and like figuring out, how am I going to get into like, how am I going to be serious about the things that I'm passionate about. And basically like the biggest thing right now is like the finding new employment for me. And the jobs that I'm looking for are, things that they're positions where they're no longer entry level positions, like I stated before in the Living My Best Life. They are, mid-level positions, meaning that the pay is higher. So like I'm going for better paying jobs, and I'm going to be looking for jobs where I'll be making more money than what I've been making in the past. And I started doing some research on fear of rejection, and I found these podcasts, and one podcast spoke out to me in particular, and it was a therapy for Black girls. And I don't listen to the show. I'm not a regular avid listener. I don't listen weekly. But this podcast popped up, and so I listened to it, and the title of the podcast was, I think it was called Fear of Rejection. And the host, Dr. Joy, she touched on this subject, and she asked some questions throughout the podcast, and I wanted to take the time out to answer these questions, to work through these feelings, just in case somebody else is going through the same thing. So the first question was, what are you afraid will happen if you don't get this thing? And I'm afraid that I won't be able to accomplish my personal goals, financial goals, and the biggest financial goal that I have is obviously to get out of debt and to be financially free and have financial freedom. And that fear comes from because I'm afraid that this won't happen because of, my past with my family, and like, I don't come from a wealthy family. And just to add context, like, I guess I was middle class. I'm not 100% sure. Like, my mom was a single mom. Like, I don't remember my mother ever struggling growing up until my senior year in high school when she got laid off her job. That's when like the financial hardship started coming in, was my senior year in high school. Other than that, I do not remember, my mother like struggling financially. Like, I've always had things growing up. Like, she didn't buy like the latest, sneakers coming out, but like I was blessed and I was fortunate to be able to be in extracurricular activities growing up as a child. So I was in gymnastics, I was in karate, I was in dance school, I was in piano lessons. My mother put me in acting classes. And you want to know what's crazy? I haven't pursued any of those things. Well, I guess I'm kind of like, it's coming out in other ways in my life as an adult. But anyway, but my mom put me in all these things growing up. So it's like, but when, she got laid off from her job, and I was entering college and I had no money and I had no money saved, and she didn't save any money for me or whatever. That's when shit started to get real. But I'm afraid that if I don't get a better paying job, that I won't be able to invest in my businesses, the things that I really honestly want to do, because I know that working for corporate America is not something that I want to do long term. And I've already wrote out a plan of like when I wanted to quit and everything, and I'm also coming to the terms with that may not happen in the time frame that I wanted to happen, because like I've already quit a job before, with hopes of like I'm gonna be this huge entrepreneur in 2 weeks, and like it doesn't work like that. So it's like now this time around, like I know that working for corporate America is not something that I want to do. So like I wrote out a plan this time around, and I have a time frame of when I want to accomplish these goals. And I'm just afraid that I won't be able to accomplish the goals. Like I won't be able to buy a house, like I won't be able to pay off my car, I won't be able to buy a new car, I won't be able to I won't be able to get another credit card. Like it's just small things that I'm afraid won't happen if I don't get this job, if I don't get a better paying job, because like I've been working at the same amount of money since I've graduated college. Like my salary is kind of been like in the same range, like it's kind of going up and down, but the most money I've made salary wise was when I was working in Connecticut when I first graduated college, and I got a job like a month later from graduating. But other than that, like I pretty much made the same amount of money, and it's like I'm just tired of making the same amount of money. Like something has to give, and like the way that society is going, and it's like if I want to have children, like I cannot have children on the salary that I have right now. Like I could not be a single mother. Like I would have to apply for food stamps, I would have to apply for welfare. Like who the fuck is going to feed another mouth off of my fucking salary when I can barely feed my damn self? And it's like I can't do that. And it's like I'm also coming from a place of like, what if I don't end up with a husband, like because I ultimately I want to be married, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. Like I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like I would like for my husband to take care of the bills and all of that. But at the same time, like I have to be realistic about, life. And if it doesn't work out that way, like I have to have a backup plan. And the backup plan is my income. And if I don't have enough income to, support me and a child or children or whatever the Most High blesses me with, then, like that's a problem for me, so I just feel like I'll never be able to accomplish certain goals if I don't get a better salary, a better paying salary. The next question is, have you created an identity that is centered around rejection? Yeah, I guess so. I'm like, when I thought about this question, because like it was another podcast that I listened to, and the guy, he was talking about how, when he was in school, they were playing a game, like it was kickball or whatever, and he didn't get picked, or he got picked last or something to that nature or whatever. And like he always thought that he wasn't good enough. And I can't really think, like, I'm trying to think of like there was a time where I've never been picked, and I can't really think, like I've been excluded. I guess that's rejection, but I can't really like pinpoint one particular situation where I've been rejected as a child. So I can't really recall or give an example of my own life. But as far as like referring back to finding new employment, Like I've always felt like I haven't been qualified enough for certain jobs, so that's why I've never gotten the jobs. And I've always been, I've always gotten those emails where it's like, oh well, we selected somebody else, so like, and then going forward, like I've never applied to jobs that pay more money because like I just never thought that I was qualified enough to get that job. And that's why I feel like I don't get certain things. And reflecting on the fear of rejection and trying to save and get out of debt currently at the moment, it also makes me think of, it made me reflect on like why that there's certain things that I'm doing internally that is probably causing me to feel this way or to have these thoughts. And like I'm currently working on trying to like redirect these thoughts so that I can get what it is that I need to get for myself, because I know that it's out there, and it's like I am just working through how to get to the steps of getting what I deserve in life. Question 3 is, are you afraid of what will have to change if you don't get this thing? How will you need to change to welcome this new opportunity? I'm not really sure what will change if I were to get a new job. I know that I would be making more money. I probably would have more responsibility. I'm currently like in a position now where at my job, like I'm working independently. So that may like, and I what's funny? I think the reason why like I got asked to be working in this, at the location I'm at my job is to possibly prepare me for working independently, because it's like when you don't have people around like watching you and micromanaging you or whatever the case is, like you really have to be on top of your own shit. You have to make your own schedule. You have to, nobody is doing it for you. So that may be it. I'll have a greater responsibility financially, meaning that I'll be making more money. So that possibly means that I need to be more responsible with my money. And like, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 of my financial responsibility, I'm like an 8, and I could be a 10, but that's neither here nor there. But when you're making like more money financially, when you're making more money, like there's more problems that come with it. Obviously, since I'm gonna like, if I'm gonna be making more money, like I want to live in a better apartment building or in a house. So that means more money. That means I have to be more responsible with my money because like I have more rent to pay. Etc., etc. And I possibly am going to be like supervising people in this new position, which I've kind of gotten a taste of at my job right now. It's not fun either. It's not like, that's the thing, like I don't know if I want to supervise people. And maybe I'm talking myself out of this shit already, but like supervising people is just not the business. It's not my jam. Like it's not my jam because like with supervising people, you have to supervise people's personalities, and I'm good, love. But anyway, next question is this something you really want? Yes, this is something that I really want. I feel like I've been waiting for a new job I've been waiting to figure out what it is that I wanted to do in my life. Like, what do you want to do? Like, I've been figuring this out since I graduated college, and that was in 2015 I graduated. It's 2020. Like, I'm just now getting to a point of where, like, I can apply to jobs, and I know what kind of job I want. I know what kind of position. Like, I know where I want to work. I know what I want to do. And this opportunity, whatever opportunity it is going to set me up for what I want to do long term with my life and my business. So yes, this is something that I really want to do. Like, this is something that I really want, because I hate talking about my job. No shade. Like, I'm grateful. And I'm saying all of this, and like, I'm grateful for my job because like I have income coming in. And when I first started getting these dreams, like I thought that, oh shit, like I'm about to get fired. But then, as I started doing some more research, I realized that this is preparing me for something. And like, I have to get out of my head and I have to do more work and I have to work harder for whatever moment is about to come. So yes, this is something that I really want. And because like I don't like my job. I don't like talking about my job because it's like I don't feel important. I don't feel valued at my job. Like, I hate going to networking events and talking about my job because it's like it's not exciting. My job is not exciting. I don't do anything exciting like at my job. Like, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a nurse, I'm not I'm not a financial analyst, like I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not any of those things. So it's like when I talk about my job, it's like, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't understand. Like, what do you do for work? Like, I don't give a fuck what I do for work. Like, not saying, like, I have income, I have a job. Like, that's all you need to worry about. And like, I started leading with, I tried to lead with, I'm an event coordinator, I'm an event planner, because that is what I want to do. I'm a program coordinator, whatever. I'm a podcaster, I'm a hustler. Like, that's what I want to do. That's who I am. Like, I'm not this job that I work at, and I hate that I have to identify myself as this job. Like, it's not fun. So yes, it's something I really want because I want a new title. Like, I'm tired of, I want to be excited to talk about my job and the things that I do daily. Like, I want to be excited about that. And I don't think that's a hard thing to ask from the universe. Thank you so much. 5. Last question. Do you trust yourself? Can you rise to the occasion? And when I was thinking about the answer to this question, I was like, do I trust myself? And I wrote down, like, I'm not sure if I trust myself. Like, do I trust myself? And like, this is something that I have been reflecting on because I'm like, maybe I'm not getting a better paying job because of my history financially. And maybe I'm not getting the job because I don't trust myself financially. Like, if I make more money, am I going to be able to handle the responsibility of what comes with making more money? So that's something that I also have to work through and I have to work on internally. So, I mean, I will get back to you guys on that. And I think a lot of that comes with sacrifice and, discipline. And discipline is not easy. I personally, I have discipline in certain areas of my life. Not every area of my life is discipline. Like, there's so many things that I need to work on as far as like discipline and self-control goes, and it's like that's something that I'm constantly working on every single day. Like, I will give an example. I started meditating a couple of years ago, and me meditating came from a place of I was dating this guy, and we were arguing, and it was just like a really bad toxic situation, and it got to the point where it was like, he didn't really want to fuck with me anymore, whatever, because like he felt like I was being too toxic. And I was like, no, like I'm not toxic, like I'm doing X, Y, and Z, like look at what I'm doing, like I'm meditating now, whatever. And so like I started meditating, and like at first it was like challenging to sit still and sit with your thoughts and to like learn about yourself and to breathe. and to breathe, you know? So that was really challenging for me. And like when it comes to like diets and fasting and detoxing and things like that, like I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like I do try to detox and I try to do it once a month, and I try to do like a raw diet, what, like while I'm detoxing. Do I always get through the raw diets every week without eating hot food or eating something that's carb related? No. So it's like this is something, it's just small things that I know that I need to work on in order to get to this goal. But to wrap everything up, like if you are somebody that is going through a fear of rejection or a transition, like just know that I'm walking beside you with this, because it's not easy. Like this transition period has got me all up in my feelings, all types of upset, because like I self-reflect a lot, but like this part of the transition period is like self-evaluation. Like what are we going to change? Like what are we going to give up? What are we willing to sacrifice in order to get to this point? So it's like I hope that I don't have any more dreams about getting fired from my job. And I think they stopped because I'm like, okay, what is this? What does this mean? Like how do I stop thinking about this? And since I've started having the dreams and I started doing some more research and self-reflection and self-evaluation, like I understand and know what parts of me like I have to like work on and I have to sacrifice in order to get to the end goal. So thank you guys for listening. I wanted this to be like a short, quick and easy podcast. Next time we'll go full throttle with the thing, you know what I mean? So if you've made it to the end of this episode, please make sure that you are subscribing to the episode on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Make sure you're following, you're sharing, you're rating, you're giving, you're reviewing, and thank you guys again for listening. This is another episode of Facts of Life. I'm your host, Akia, and I will speak to you next time. Peace.